Reggie here, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. In this video, we are going to count down the 10 most submitted books into CGC for the month of May. And this is a video series that I've been doing for well over a year that provides people with some insight into what is being sent into CGC. And I will tell you, something interesting happened this month. The number one book from last month, as well as that character's first appearance, have completely fallen off the list. And I think that this is the first time in well over a year that we've seen this thing happen. And I'm curious whether you know which books and characters I might be talking about. Stay tuned until the end of the video and I'll tell you exactly all the details. Before we get to the list, I want to acknowledge the sponsor of this video, Hip Comic. Hip Comic is a great platform for being able to buy and sell raw and graded comics. It is a secure platform that is built by collectors for collectors. There's a link in the description. I encourage you to check out the website and the massive inventory as soon as you finish watching this video. With that said, let's get to the list. Number 10 on the list is Nice House on a Lake, issue number 1, a book that hasn't been seen on the list in several months. Based upon how the census count has grown, it's clear that the first print is the book that is being submitted in versus the third print that I've reported on previously. At present, the current census count for this book is sitting at 3,100 copies, with roughly 2,500 of them being a CGC 9.8 blue label. The 9.8 has a current Go Collect FMV of $110, but copies are selling on average closer to $62 for the last 30 days. Awesome book. Make sure that you get this one if you decide to pick it up for a fair price. Number 9 is X-Men issue number 4, the first appearance of Omega Red. This book continues to hang around the list and at present has a census count of 10,670 total copies. The 9.8 has an FMV of $190 and a 30 and 90-day average at just about $190 as well. The FMV may shift upward as there have been a few eBay and Heritage auction sales that are averaging closer to $255. Number 8 on the list is Venom Lethal Protector issue number 1, a book that has consistently appeared on the list month after month for well over the last year. Since last month, the census count on this book has grown by 573 copies and currently sits at 15,704 total graded copies on the census. The CGC 9.8 blue label has an FMV of $140 and has a 30-day moving average of $140 as well. Number 7 on the list is Spawn's Universe issue number 1 from Todd McFarlane and Image Comics. After a 2-month hiatus, this book is back on the list. Since the last time I spoke about this book, the census count has only increased by 191 copies, and my guess is that we'll see this number tick upward once the census count has been updated by CGC. At present, the FMV for a 9.8 is $55, but this book is selling on average closer to $35. Number 6 on the list is Amazing Spider-Man issue number 361, the first appearance of Carnage. Since last month, the census count on this book has increased by 420 total copies and currently sits at 25,853 total copies. Like other comics that have been hot and cooled, the value of this book continues to slide. Last month, the 30-day average was $567 and now sits at $539 against an FMV of $550. Number 5 on the list is X-Men issue number 1, moving up one spot since last month. And since last month, the total census on this book has grown by 600 copies in advance of a CGC signing featuring Jim Lee. And my feeling is that the census count on this book will continue to grow as we get closer and closer to that CGC signing event. Even with the increased census count, this book is maintaining a 30-day average just north of $100. As previously mentioned, if you are thinking about getting a copy of this book, consider getting the newsstand version versus the direct edition. Number 4 on the list is Moon Knight issue number 1 from 1980. And this book has been on the list consistently for the last several months, driven by all of the excitement around the Moon Knight Disney Plus series. And my guess is that this book will continue to appear on the list until we have some clarification as to whether there is going to be a season 2 of Moon Knight. I should also mention that this book is the origin of Moon Knight, which currently has a census count of 8,356 total copies. While this book is down from its one-year average of $900, the 90 and 30-day average are holding strong. At present, the 30-day average is $752, and my guess is that this will be sustained until we learn if there's going to be a season 2. With recent heritage sales north of $1,100 and an eBay sale for $850, my guess is that people are betting that there will be a season 2 of Moon Knight. Number 3 on the list is another Todd McFarlane book. This one is specifically Spawn issue number 1. At present, this book has a census count of 23,688 total copies. While the overall value of this book has declined, it seems to be holding steady. The current 30-day average for a 9.8 is $190, which is only $28 off of the one-year average of $218. Number 2 on the list is another BAM Box exclusive, but this one is the Miles Morales Spider-Man issue number 30. And this book first appeared on the list back in October 2021 and stayed on the list until February 2022, and now it's back again. The current census count for this Yellow Label signature series is 695 total copies. The high water sale for this book at a 9.8 occurred in March of this year for $198, but the most recent sale was $120. And finally, number 1. And that number 1 book is Ultimate Fallout issue number 4, but specifically the facsimile edition. The last time this book was on the list was in February of this year, when it was also in the number 1 spot. At the time, the book had a 30-day average of $70. The current 30-day average is $49, and the most recent sale was only $37 on eBay. So have you figured out which books and character have fallen completely off the list? If not, fret not, because I'm going to tell you exactly who and what I'm talking about. Last month, the number 1 book was a BAM Box exclusive. It was specifically a She-Hulk issue number 2 that was on the list. That book is off the list in its entirety, but the same can be said for the first appearance of She-Hulk, that being Savage She-Hulk issue number 1. And I'll be honest, I expected to see that book on the list again as we're getting closer to the release of the Disney Plus series featuring She-Hulk. So I'm completely surprised that that book is not on the list in any way, shape, or form. The question will be, will it appear next month? You're definitely going to have to stay tuned to find out whether that happens. And to that point, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I want to encourage you to do so now, because that way, by subscribing and turning on notifications, you won't miss out on any of the content that gets released from the channel. Before I wrap up, I also want to remind you to check out Hip Comic, the sponsor of this video, using the link down in the description. If you need to reach out to me for whatever reason, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.